Hi. I've been delaying this video for months. It's a video that I've been feeling very called to make, but have been avoiding because I wanted it to be perfect. And I know that having the perfect video isn't gonna make the message change. So here I am. So I've been wanting to share this piece of my life for quite some time now, and I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to get my message across. So I asked for a sign from the universe, and I was outside journaling one day and I was really conflicted. Again, this was another one of the excuses where why I couldn't take action yet is because I don't know what platform I want to do it on. I was like, universe, when it is time, please show me how I should share my story. If it's an Instagram reel, show me a rabbit. If it's a podcast, show me my foot. Show me yellow roses. And if it's a YouTube video, show me a red bird. I go out on my patio every single morning to do my morning routine. If you follow me on Instagram, you know my routine is that I go outside, meditate, journal, read every day. That's what I'm doing in the morning. You can catch me out there. Those 3 signs that I asked for are all things that I have never seen out there. So a couple of days later, when I kind of forgot about it, I was journaling out there and I look up, and in the mangroves directly across from me is this bright red cardinal. My whole intention behind this video is to show you that if you have experienced a specific event in your life that stands out, that you feel is so isolating, you feel that you need to run from, that you need to hide from, that you cannot talk about, that you feel like it's taking away your power, I want you to know that you still have that power and your life can still be beautiful even though we go through experiences like that. Unfortunately, for many women, they have a story that's way too similar to mine. And I know that I put a disclaimer, a trigger warning at the beginning of this video, but my story does involve sexual assault. If that is something that you are triggered by, I encourage you to continue to listen with an open mind. Something that I found that has been really helpful in my healing journey is sitting with your triggers and questioning why they're coming up, where they came from. And this is something that one of my mentors told me, so I didn't make this up. You can think about a trigger as an open wound. And when you get triggered by it, it's like somebody's putting their fingers in it. But somebody's putting their finger in your wound and rubbing it, and it hurts you. So that's the trigger. That's where you react and you're like, fuck, that shit hurts. But you want to know, where did the wound come from? And how can I heal it so that the next time somebody brushes up against it, I'm not so quick to pull away or jump to attack them. We want to acknowledge our triggers and also question them and not just run from them. Because if you run from them, it's going to be a constant chase. Okay, so now basically we just get into my story. It is a small sliver of what makes me me. It is not my whole story. There is so much more to me outside of this one experience. but this is a big piece of who I am, and it's something that drives me in my own personal development and in my healing as well. Bringing awareness to this event has definitely helped me to kickstart my healing journey as well. I hope this helps you. I hope this brings you a level of peace and lets you know that you're not alone. So hi, I'm Cassie. For those of you who don't know me, I used to have a fitness Instagram, now just turned into business, lifestyle, healing vibes. Like, I don't like to put myself all under one branch, but you may know me as Cassie K Fit on Instagram. Now I am Cassie Kovacs because I didn't fit under just the fitness umbrella anymore. I am a member of a family of 5. I have 2 older brothers and obviously my mom and my dad. I grew up in a neighborhood that was very close-knit. There were 4 houses in a little square, and all of the houses had kids that were all around the same age. We would spend our days always outside, always playing. Like, we were all always together in all of our free time whenever we could. We would always be playing like flashlight tag, we would play manhunt, we would play, we would play the most random shit. We would make games up. We're just like always playing. We were always together. And I'm really grateful that I had that community to grow up with because it was so fun. And like, I had great friends growing up, and they lived across the street from me. So I always had access to friends. Like, I never really had to play by myself, especially because I had brothers, even though they didn't always want to play with me. So I did play by myself a lot. But anyways, this is kind of where it gets dark. I'm not gonna lie. Although I'm really grateful and can say now that like I am really grateful for that community, it was also broken. And the perspective that I just shared is also the perspective, ooh, that was lightning. That was also the perspective that my parents had of my childhood up until probably like April 2022. What kind of shattered that illusion for them was me sharing with them that I had been raped by one of the other kids at some point between the ages of 6 to 8 is my assumption. I'm not exactly sure of the timeline, but I do have 2 very specific memories of the experience occurring. And I picture myself very young. Like, I feel it in my bones that is the time frame. I do know that I was not the only one that it was happening to, but that is their story to tell, not mine. So I can just kind of leave it at that. And I have thought about and gone back and forth on if I wanted to steal my abuser's name, if I wanted to go after him, like if I wanted justice. And I don't want that. Like, I feel like the position that I'm in now is enough. The only perspective that you can have with this situation is that without this experience, I would not be who I am today. And that's just point blank, period. And I may seem like I'm kind of emotionless or like smiling around this, and that's because I have had this conversation and I have shared this piece of me with many people. I've done a lot of deep inner healing around this subject. So I've spoken on it multiple times, and Not that I don't feel a deep sense of emotion and not that I don't feel hurt by what happened to me, but like I have a new perspective, and it's probably a little bit more desensitized now that I've spoken on it so many different times. So because I was so young when this happened, I dissociated and I forgot that this had happened to me. So it wasn't until I was a sophomore in high school that the memory came back to me for the first time. I was sitting in a school assembly. We were in the library in my high school, and she was giving a presentation about sexual assault and what classifies sexual assault as sexual assault. What she said something that just clicked with me, and I was like, holy shit, like that happened to me. I didn't say anything about it. And after I left, I think my subconscious was like, all right, that was a lot, so adios. And I forgot that it happened again. And it wasn't until I was a freshman in college that the memories resurfaced again. And after that, they never went away. I did end up sharing with a couple of my close friends who unfortunately had really similar stories, but it helped me feel less alone and a whole lot more connected to them. So that was really helpful for a while, but for the most part, it was something that I kept a secret. And I continued to run from these memories because I did not want to be the one in trouble. I did not want to be a victim. I didn't want anybody's sympathy. That was my biggest thing for not telling people, is because I didn't want people to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, or look at me differently. And like the last thing that I want is sympathy. I don't need sympathy from anybody. And I mean that deeply. Like I don't need sympathy. I don't want sympathy. That doesn't do anything for me. I just want to help people. Okay, so fast forward, it's 2021. I am out to dinner with my parents. It's the first time like me, my brothers, and my parents are all together after months and months and months. We finally get together, and we're reminiscing on the good old times in the neighborhood. Okay, so I think we know where this is going. I was really triggered, and there had been other experiences in the past where there was conversation of sexual assault, or I had an opportunity to say something and I never did. And when I got home, I was just sobbing, just broke out in tears, like releasing the anxiety inside me, and just like knew I wanted to tell them and I needed to get help. So I booked my first therapy session, and from there, I went once and I hated it, so I never went back. She wasn't it for me. I won't say she was not a good therapist. I'm just gonna say she wasn't it for me. That took a lot of courage to sign up for therapy. If you have gone to therapy or you're looking into therapy, you know how hard it is to book that first appointment. Fast forward. At this point, I am an online fitness coach. I am back to running and hiding from this experience that happened to me. I was at an event. It was an online virtual event with the Business Academy that I was a part of. And they're amazing. And unfortunately, the coach that I'm going to be referencing is not with them anymore. But I'm still connected with him because he's a fucking rock star. That man saved my fucking life that day. I was in a Zoom call with about 80 people, and there were a bunch of different speeches from other coaches at the event. So there was a live in-person event that we were watching, and then we also had like the virtual squad. So we would watch the in-person event and then come together and all chat, and then we would watch, and then we'd come together and chat. So in between every single one of those speeches, somebody was having like this huge breakthrough. I think what did it for me was like, one of the coaches was talking about their why, and like, you need to have a deep why, not just I want to travel the world, not just like I want to help people. Like, what is your deep rooted why? And my biggest struggle at the time was comparison. I didn't trust my authority as a coach. I didn't trust that what I was saying had value, and I compared myself to other coaches, and basically I brought that into the conversation, and from there it somehow broke down into I was raped as a child. And that is, I don't know exactly how we got to that point, but my coach Jeffrey Eden, when I shared that, the most perfect response, like, I can't even explain to you. If you were on that call and you're watching this video, you know, and you felt it. But like, the way, like, what he said was the perfect thing, exactly what I needed to hear. And I kept trying to talk about coaching and like how I was struggling as a coach, and he was like, fuck that, dude. Like, we are talking about something completely different here. And like, this comes down to your deep, true vision of yourself. So yeah, not that I was like I was not really facing any depressive or like suicidal thoughts at that moment in time, but like, that man did truly save my life in the fact that like, I am no longer suffering carrying this heavy experience on my back anymore. I'm not carrying this deep, heavy experience inside me. I'm able to release it and live freely. I have found inner peace because of this one experience at this event, talking to this man. And like, it took a whole lot more healing after that. Like, it wasn't just that day and everything's great. It was that day and everything's changed. Everything is shifted. So from there, I hired spiritual mentors. Essentially, with working with them, it completely shifted every fucking thing. Everything. And I am now a coach with that same program. Cameron Scholsinger. We did some deep work. We did like 12 to 14 weeks of just shadow work. That is hard. That is a lot. That is deep rooted shit. She helped me have breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough, and also held me accountable in being able to take steps of aligned action, to be able to not just talk about what my experience was, but also be able to carry on and not just like turn my head and pretend it didn't happen, like carry on and like move out of the experience and not just allow it to be an anchor attached to my foot. That is like the basis. That is like the skeleton of my healing journey, initial start, like that. I don't even know what I want to call that, but like, that is the skeleton behind what I wanted to share today. And moving forward, I will be sharing more lifestyle. I will be sharing more healing. I now do work in healing. So know that if you are somebody who is struggling with something similar, like, I have been through the process and it's not easy. I would love to do the work with you. And that is truly why I believe that I'm here, is because we all have these experiences that connect us. And I'm sure after watching this video, if you've made it this far, it's because you resonate with my story. It's because you feel something. It's because you hear me, you see me, you know that this is my truth. This is my purpose. Like, this is my passion. This is why I'm here, is to help guide others through this process. And it's to share my story so that others don't feel alone. If you're still here, it's because you connect. Okay, so my light died and then John came home. So there was a lot of things going on. I didn't get to close out the video like I wanted to, but I am here now to just let you know that, as I was saying, life is fucking beautiful, and the hard things don't have to be the things that tear us down. The universe did not hand you something for it to take you out. It handed you something to be able to work through the challenges, and because you made it through, you are so strong. You can't just forget your past. That's not a healthy way to deal with your experiences, is just to forget about them. Like, they happened to you, they happened for you. Acknowledge that and lean into that. Take the lesson and leave behind the painful shit. The hard things are what make us us. Like, they are what allow us to grow and change and learn. Like, if everything was easy, it would never stick. Life can be so beautiful if you let it. Change the story that you tell yourself. I think that as far as healing goes, I'm always going to be on a healing journey. I'm always going to be on a journey of bettering myself, improving myself, becoming a better human, becoming more aligned with my soul's purpose. Like, I don't ever think that I will reach my peak. That's just human potential. Like, you can never meet your potential. We have unlimited fucking potential. So if you're dwelling on your trauma, thinking that that's what you were here to experience, like, baby girl, know that there is more for you, so much more for you. And part of your gift is that you have survived something traumatic. And you can take the strength from your survival and turn it into something beautiful. It's the only way to view it and survive it. So I think that's where I'm gonna close it out. If you want to get started with your healing, if you want somebody to talk to, if you need somebody to lean on, I am here for you. But yeah, I just appreciate every single person who took the time to watch this video, who left a comment, who takes the opportunity to reach out for help. Like, thank you for taking care of you. The world would be such a better place if everybody did that. Thank you so much for being here. Follow my Instagram. That's where I'm the most active, and TikTok. But I will also begin moving forward to create content here. So subscribe, give this video some love, please. I would love to hear from every single person that watches this. Thank you so much for hearing me.